Hey, in this video we're going to be working on this particular inked piece. We're going to talk about some of the selection tools that are available to you that will make your life easier when you're actually coloring line work. So in this particular case, I've got my inks on their own separate layer. And one of the things that I highly recommend when you're coloring is to color on a layer that is underneath your inks. But in order to go ahead and actually color, I want to be able to quickly block out some color flats. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to go ahead and look at the drawing here and find out if there are any areas where I have gaps. Pretty obvious right here. I've got a big gap here underneath this dinosaur. So on a separate layer, I'm just going to close the gap temporarily and then I'll delete it. So I'll just call this gap filler. And what I'll do is I'll switch to black. I'll just basically extend this line down. This is just a temporary thing, but it allows me to go ahead and quickly color. And I'm really just going to zoom in, and I'm holding down the space bar as I maneuver around my canvas here to look for any areas that I may have not closed. And you can see that there's one tiny one all the way down here. So on my inks layer, I'm going to go back and just clean that up. And looks like all the other gaps are taken care of. So let's make a new layer. And now what I can do is I'm going to hold down the magic wand tool. I'm going to go to the magic wand tool. You might see quick selection. Magic wand tool exists there. Keyboard shortcut Shift W allows you to toggle between the available tools that are in the toolbar for that specific tool. So I'm going to use the magic wand tool. Now, about the magic wand tool, if you look at the properties here, we can see that there is a tolerance value, and then you have three options up above: anti-alias, contiguous, and sample all layers. You want to make sure that these three options are turned on. And what's important here is that when you turn on sample all layers, I'm on a blank canvas or a blank layer right now. If I have that turned off, which I'll do right now just for demonstration purposes, and if I were to click in any closed gap, you can see that it ignores the line work that I have on my inks layer and just basically selects the entire canvas. But when I choose sample all layers and try it again, you can see that it does respect the objects that are in the composition. So that's the first thing I would do. Now the tolerance value here, it can go anywhere down to 1 all the way up to I think 255. And basically I want you to think about the tolerance as precision. When I choose the most precise tolerance, what will end up happening is if I zoom in and move really close, you can see that there are some areas that are not going to be filled in. And let me just go ahead and demonstrate this by filling in with this red. When I fill in with the red, there are going to be little pockets that are not colored in. And the reason for that is that the tolerance is very precise. So what I would like to do is I would like to go ahead and make the tolerance a little bit more lenient. And that way I can color in some of these areas that are appearing as grayscale values. In fact, when you zoom in really close, you can see that because the tolerance is set to 1, it is very precise. So anything that's medium to dark is ignored. It just looks at where the first anti-alias grays are, and it just fills up to that point. So let me hit undo to deselect. And let me bump up that tolerance to a higher value. I'll just choose 66. Now if I were to click and fill it in and zoom in, you can see that because the tolerance wasn't as strict, it's able to color nearly all of the area within that enclosed selection without leaving pockets of white. So the higher the tolerance, the more you're going to be able to select even like the mid-tone grays and the light grays and the dark grays. You're basically going to get a nice clean fill when you're using the Magic Wand tool. So Magic Wand tool is pretty useful when you have enclosed shapes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a trick to quickly select everything that is not the illustration. So I'm going to take my Magic Wand tool and I'm going to click outside of my canvas. You can see everything outside of it is selected, and I'm going to add to my selection for all these little areas that are inside this special effects dialog. So I'm going to hold down the Shift key to add to my selection, and I'm going to select everything on the inside. Okay. So now what I've done is I've effectively selected everything outside of my artwork. In order to now select the artwork, I need to inverse the selection. So Shift Command I or Shift Control I will allow you to go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to hit Option or Alt, Delete, or Backspace. So now what I've done here is I've filled in all of the art. And this layer is important because from here I'll be able to make some quick color changes, and I can color this up relatively fast. Now, there is one area that I don't want this red, so I can use my Magic Wand tool. You can see that when I use the Magic Wand tool, because I did not close the gap, the selection also extends to this tooth. So how do I deal with that? Well, I could go back to my inks layer and I could just fill that in with ink, and that's probably the fastest way, but since I'm showing you different ways of selecting, if you use the pen tool, you can click and drag. Now every time I click and drag, what it's doing is it's adding another vertex to this curve, and I'm just going to mimic the shape. And as you click and drag, you can control the curvature of this path. This is the path that we're creating. And this path is going to now be fully enclosed. I've made a closed path. And I can take that closed path and I can turn that into a selection by going up to make selection. If I click on that and keep the default values, you can see that now that path is turned into some marching ants, which is a selection. I can now hit Command X and can now get rid of that. So now I've got all the line art that I want to work with. I can even turn off my gap filler layer because I know I don't have to worry about that anymore. So now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this base color, this red, and I'm going to use my Magic Wand tool, and I'm going to first of all select the area that's outside the building of the dinosaur. So if I go now to the base layer, I'll just label this as base. And if I hit Command J duplicates a selection. And what I can do now is I can just bring up the hue saturation, Command U or Control U on the Windows machines, and I can just go ahead and change this value. And maybe what I want to do is desaturate that blue and turn the lightness down. In my previous video, we talked about the idea of improving contrast by converting your image to grayscale. So I'm going to do that right now by hitting Command Y. And you can see that I've got suitable contrast between the buildings and the background. Now let's go back to our dinosaur here. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I've selected all of the scaly skin. Now I can hit Command J, Command U, and I can dial in the hue. The hue is the tint in this case, so I want to go ahead and choose a greenish value, but I want to desaturate that. I'll bring the lightness down, and I can just dial in this color as I see fit. Now notice that I have parts of this drawing that are not fully colored. How do I address that? Well, I can use my lasso tool, keyboard shortcut L, over here, and I can just use a freehand lasso tool selection to get those remaining areas that it did not fill. And I'm going to use my I key, that's the eyedropper tool, to sample that green. I'm on the layer that contains the green for the dinosaur. Now I can fill that empty area in by hitting Option, Delete, or Alt Backspace. Right, so knowing these keyboard shortcuts really makes quick work of digital coloring. Let me repeat that process here with the teeth. So I'll go back down over here, and I want to show you actually an even quicker way of doing this. I could use the Magic Wand tool, and it's certainly going to be advantageous. In fact, I'm going to just do this for the first few just so you can see it, and I want to show you another way. So here I've got the Magic Wand tool selecting all of the teeth so far. I'm holding down the Shift key as I do this. And these two teeth do not have enclosed gaps, so I'm going to come back to those in a minute. And I'll get the little drool, the saliva here. And I don't know if that has selected the red. Yes, it did. Okay, cool. So I zoom in to go ahead and verify that. Now that I've got that selection in place, I can go to Command J, Command U, and I can change the color of those teeth. I can convert it to grayscale to see if there's contrast. Now, how do I deal with these two teeth over here? And also this little area right here. So I can use my lasso tool. And because this is a very small area, I can use my freehand lasso tool as well. I'm holding down Shift while I do this. And then I can sample the color for the other teeth. And I've got that taken care of. Now, I want to show you a quicker way. So we've got all these little areas here that are red. And I want to change those to magenta, but I don't want to have to go back through and use the Magic Wand tool or the lasso tool in order to get those little small areas. Well, remember, I still have my base layer here. What I can do now is I can use the lasso tool and make a sloppy selection. Notice how sloppy this is, right? But it's enclosing all the areas that I care about. Now what I can do is I can take Command J, it takes that selection, bumps it to its own layer, Command U, and I can go ahead and tweak all of those within one fell swoop. I'll drop the saturation down, bring it up like that. So when you're dealing with really, really tight areas, having this base layer here to go back to makes it much, much faster. So now going back to the base layer, Command J, Command U. And what's also important that I want you to observe here is that I'm never going back to the colors panel or the swatches panel. And that's not to say that you should avoid doing that. It's just that this is a quicker way of working. And you can derive most of all of your colors fairly quickly with this particular approach. So now I've got that. Now I can do the same thing for the buildings here. Let's just go ahead and make a sloppy selection around the buildings. Command J, Command U. I'm going to make those buildings somewhat blue. Desat, increase the contrast. So I'm going monochromatic there. And now when I zoom in to the lights, I want to turn on some of these lights. So this area, I'll hold down the Shift key, add to my lasso tool. And maybe for this middle window here, I'll turn on the lights and this backlight over here. So now I can go to Command J, Command U, dial in a value here. Don't know if I want to make those yellow or not. So now I was able to quickly color those elements up. And then lastly, let's take care of the roar. So I can come back around with my lasso tool, select the whole enchilada, Command J, Command U, and I can tweak that as need be. And so this makes it very, very fast if you know how to use your selection tools. Magic Wand tool is pretty good. You can also take the lightness or darkness, once you hit Command U. In this case, I'm taking the original red and cranking the lightness all the way up. And what that does is it turns that value into white. So if you have to get black or white, you just adjust the brightness. And from here, what I typically can do is, if I'm feeling happy with everything, I can merge these layers together. This is my color flats layer. So I can just label this as flats. And what I mean by color flats, it doesn't have any highlights, it doesn't have any shading, it's just flat color. And when you're working on something, you want to think about light sources, you want to think about where the light is going to hit. That gives you the ability to show highlights as well as shadows. So I'm going to repeat this process by using my lasso tool, and I'm going to say that the light source is coming head on towards this dinosaur. In other words, the light source is actually pointing towards the muzzle of the dinosaur. So that means that everything here roughly is going to get that highlight. And what I'm doing is I'm just selecting the front part of the teeth. I'm going to add to my selection, selecting the front part of the teeth. Why? Because the back part of the teeth are not going to be receiving that light. Now on the flats layer, I can hit Command J, Command U, and I can just turn up the saturation a little bit. And if I want to add to my selection here, I can do that. If I want to have some of these scales, receiving some light, I can just hold down the Shift key, use my freehand lasso tool, and just, work some of that texture in. Now what I can do is come back to the flats layer, and I'm going to just select this area here. This is going to be where the jaw covers the neck of our dinosaur. Command J, Command U, and I can make that darker. And now I can use my lasso tool to subtract to get those scales in place. And even on this side over here, I want that scale texture to be visible. I don't want to just have it flat like that. In fact, there we go. And so now what I've done here is I've added some highlights and some shading to this particular image here, and I'm using a combination of my lasso tools, I'm using the magic wand tool, and it makes quick work out of coloring your images up. If you found this video to be useful, I'd love to hear your comments. As always, thanks for watching. Appreciate the feedback that I've been given so far. Keep doing that, and let me know what you'd like to see next. So thanks for watching.